A show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Ticely Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. Today in studio with me is a woman that we are so familiar with in the Ministry of Education, the Department of Education, but she's no longer there. She's still doing education, Dr. Connie George. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to The Big Story.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I made it to The Big Story.
You made it.
Yes.
At the time when you would have transitioned from where we are so familiar with you.
Yes.
Tell us about where you're at now.
Kathy, right now I'm at the Office of the Deputy Governor, and I'm working with a new initiative called the Virgin Islands Public Service Learning Institute. It is part of a whole transformational plan that we are doing in government, in the public service, and it is to continuously upskill the workers within the public service. And so we have combined everything that was done before and the new initiatives that we are bringing on in the Public Service Learning Institute.
So when we hear learning, we know that you're still in that realm of education.
Definitely.
And now it's
definitely.
not in the school system as per se, but among the employees of government.
Yes.
How is that working? What's the structure of that?
The structure of it is I'm establishing, and it is really in its embryo stages, establishing the Learning Institute for the public officers. We are looking at ensuring that is ongoing professional development, as opportunities for certification, opportunities to upskill in your particular areas, mobility for those persons who want to progress to higher offices within the public service. We want to ensure that their career pathways establish, that individuals can really decide, I want to make public service my career, and you can see a clear pathway before you as you progress through the system.
So why focus this heavily on this at this time?
Focusing in this, it's all a part of the transformational plan of public officers. I'm sure you would have heard about the whole thrust of world-class public service,
yes.
The whole thrust of transforming the public service, the public service transformation model. There are three distinct parts, and becoming agile, lean, digital, and green through streamlining, digitalization, adaptation, and greening. And the second one is where I come in, and this is developing highly skilled and adaptable leaders and employees through high performance culture, innovative thinking, and doing new industries, change management, and collaboration. So we are looking at the skilled, adaptable leaders and employees, and that's where the Institute will fall. And the third leg of the model is leading global in service delivery through good governance, customer focused organization, and security. So I come into number 3 as well.
Okay.
Because we are talking about good governance, customer focus. And if we are going to be customer focused, we have to continue to know what are the demands and prepare our officers or workers to meet those demands.
Okay, so while you were in the Ministry of Education, yes, you dealt with adults at some levels because you had to deal with the administrative arms of school and so on. For a greater part of it, your focus was around the children. Now you are all thrusted into dealing with the adult population. How is that transformation for you and your comfortability and confidence that you were able to just as evenly execute for adults as you were able to do for kids?
I dealt with the children curriculum-wise, because the whole thing is based around the packaging of what you're giving to the children and what you're giving to the adults. So curriculum was one of my forte. That's why part of my training has been, and it is now saying to me, you created or you worked with children and developed curriculum, assessments, ongoing professional development for the staff, and you're basically transitioning that information to now working with adults. It is a shift in terms of dealing with adult focus. However, there's lots of similarities. Lots of similarities. Yes, the content material may be different, but the instruction, the formats, the outlines and everything will look different, but we are still using the same teaching and learning process that they will have to go through.
For those targeted in the adult population within the public service, how do you get them to buy in? Is it voluntary, or this is part of their must participate in?
My answer to that question will be both. Because we want our public officers to see the benefits of continuing to upskill themselves and continuing to grow in the field in which they're in. And so from that perspective, we want it to be voluntary. And I should add here, Kathy, it has been catching on. I've been getting a whole lot of requests for training and training and training in the various areas. And so it is not as difficult as you might think it is, because persons want to be on the cutting edge and persons want to know that they're being trained and made capable to function in the role in which they're in. So capacity building is also one of the focus that we have. Competency learning within your area is where another focus. And so it is catching on, persons are asking, persons are inquiring, heads of departments have been sending in their information as to what they would like to have happen for their staff, and the list goes on. Now, I must say that the learning and development within government is nothing new. We have always had a training division. We have always had, more recently, a learning and development unit within the public service. And so the Ministry of Human Resource Department, Public Service. And so what we are seeing now is structuring it and expanding to offer more programs, more guidance, more direction in building a good public officer. We want public officers to choose public service to be their career.
Oh, wow,
and that's where we are looking, and that's where we are trying to ensure.
Private sector. What I'm hearing from you is a two-way street here, where the various department, ministries, bodies are coming to you, but as in same light, you are as well are going to be reaching out and saying, this is what we have to offer, where can you fit in? How that system goes.
So around 2019, that was before my time, they did a needs assessment. And the needs assessment revealed key areas that were in need of upskilling within the public service, in employees that were already there, and the areas that needed to be trained, and we needed to fill some gaps. That particular needs assessment, we have been working through that over the years and offering programs, offering courses, what we call the building of skills programs and courses to our public officers. We have done scholarships where one or two persons were able to go off and be trained in particular areas. We have brought persons to the public officers. I could think about CARICAD. We're doing training for leaders, and these are ongoing. How it's working for us now to have even more of this on a wider scale. That's all that's happening right now. We are fishing out, we are looking for additional avenues by which we can offer public services. We want leadership training. We want customer service training, and persons like Virgin Atlantic, we are going to be working with them. We are going to be working with building out some of our own personal local programs here in the BVI, in our public service, that speaks to what we would expect, our standards within the public service. And we have reached out to Caribbean Examinations Council, who will be a quality assurance body to verify these programs, to ensure that they are not only what we would like, but they can also measure up to the standards regionally and internationally. And so as your question asks, how are we going to be sharing and giving more to our public officers by the way of these programs that we're going to be offering in the Institute. We are utilizing what we had already, and we are adding some more areas, specifically in leadership. We are looking at more technical, strengthening the technical arm. If you're a maintenance person, we want to be able to help you to upskill. As a matter of fact, we very soon, we are going to be running a program for maintenance workers through the HLSCC. I must mention that we have a memorandum of understanding with HLSCC. Here we are coming on and establishing ourselves in a similar fashion as HLSCC. We want to partner with them. Awesome. And what they have to offer, we will not duplicate. We are going to use what they have and to allow our public officers to participate in them.
So what I'm hearing from you is that back then you would have done a needs assessment.
Yes.
You have completed a strategic plan?
Yes, indirectly.
That was the embryonic stage.
Yes. I'm just working through the strategic plan now as I rolled out, but at the same time, I want to keep the momentum going. I want to continue to keep the momentum going as I strategize to go further. So it is really a phased approach that we are going to be taking, continuing what we have and adding as we go along, so that our public officers could really benefit in building capacity.
All right, with initiatives like this, in different sectors, one of the things that you often hear from human resource departments when they would have executed certain plans that they would have to develop the workforce, develop the human resource aspect of any entity, whether it be public or private. One of the things that comes up as critical is parallel to empowering and the development for human resources is equipping those persons with the necessary tools in order to be effective, because you can train me from now till the moon turns blue, which it just did the other day, but I would not be able to be effective. So how are we working with the necessary bodies to ensure that, listen, parallel to us doing this, you are doing this, so that we can all achieve that great objective that we want to see?
That is all a work in progress, and we are all speaking the same language where that is concerned. So as we build out the education side, we are also working at building up the resources side and ensuring that the most we can do is to ensure that both things run parallel.
And I understand that would not be on you, but I guess it is something that you'll be communicating and speaking together.
We are in conversation,
because you can't put down pipelines and don't put the tap on the head for the water to run out. And so what more in this program that is critical for us to know at this time?
Several things. I would mention what our main objectives are. The main objectives for the program is to foster public service excellence through the designing and delivery of competency-based programs. Secondly, we want to promote continuous learning and development for our public officers. We want to support a high-performance culture in the public sector. Fourthly, we want to establish a cadre of experts.
Okay.
I want to say that loud because we want to really have a cadre of experts among our employees and our leaders, build strategic capacity, build capacity within the public service, ensure continuity of institutional knowledge.
Okay.
That is very important, very, very important that we have the protocols of the public service being passed on in a formal way that persons know once you're part of the public officer, these are the expectations,
yes, yes.
and these are the standards, and this is what's expected in every ministry across the public service. I recognize the need for excellent customer service program. And that is that's going to be one of our signature programs,
okay.
Customer service. That when you go into water and sewage, for example, not picking on anybody.
It's one of the top
yes,
and everyone's
when we
looking
go
out for
into
that
water and
better.
sewage, it's going to have the same customer service presented to you there as is presented
at BVIEC or
yes.
finance department
yes,
or treasury.
right across the board.
Yes.
We want it to look the same, and this is going to be a service of excellence. That's our term
Awesome.
that we are using, and so we are training and we are getting persons to recognize the standards and the expectations of where we are going with
Okay,
this.
finally, since you've started this process and have been examining, what was the most important thing that stands out to you when you would have listened to the various departments with their requests for training or capacity building in any way? What stands out most to you?
It tells me that we have a group of people working in the public service that want to know, that want to advance, that want to improve, and want to do their best. And as a result of that, whatever you can give me, let me have it, because I want to do my best. And I want to be a part of this change process that is happening in the public service.
And just as important as it for your human resources within the public sector,
Yes.
you're doing it not just for them, but for those on the outside who will be
Community.
coming in
Yes.
to access those services.
Actually, Kathy, that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line to it all. Our community, our customers, the persons who we serve will be able to enjoy improved services across the system.
Okay,
Very
awesome.
important for
very,
us.
Very important.
Yes.
And you have 30 seconds of your own to speak to both the public service sector and the community in this process as we go with the objective of making it all better.
Okay, 30 seconds to say to my public officers, we are looking forward to really rolling out what we are calling a Public Service 101 course, where we will be sharing what it is to be a good public officer. We will be equipping you with the tools necessary to fit into this new public service and to be a success. We want to let you know the standards and expectations of working in the public service and serving the community. And so that's one thing I needed to just really drop in here and give a plug to that. We are going to be reaching out to all persons who may have joined the service in the last 2-3 years, and we are going to be rolling this out with you over the next couple of weeks. I also want to mention about the essential learning hours. Now, this is something that we are also very excited about, to keep the ongoing learning, that every person will get involved in their own learning. And this is where we are going to be requiring all public officers to complete at least 60 hours of essential learning, which will be documented and a part of your appraisal process. We want it to become natural to you that learning, improving my skill, being a part of the change process, and successful public service be a part of you in everything that we do. So you'll hear more about that as well in terms of our 60 essential working hours, I should say learning hours, that is, for all public officers. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to say to the community, we are looking forward to continuously serving you, and as we serve you, that you can tell us the improvement in our service, because that is our goal. Community.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love the part where you spoke about it being a part of the appraisal process.
Yes.
And the one other thing that dropped in my spirit there as you spoke is that while we say that you're doing it to serve the community, in many cases you're doing it to serve yourself as well, because you as a public servant, you have to access these services yourself.
Yes,
so
definitely.
when all is said and done, we're doing it for one body of people, the people of the Virgin Islands and those who come here, pass through here, or think about being here.
Yes, so we are workers on one end, employees. At the same time, we are also consumers and customers to other areas.
Awesome.
So we are really want to really see excellence coming forth in every public service office.
And I am sure that you know this is going to be achieved step at a time.
Yes.
We'll continue to tap in every now and then to hear how the process is going, what's new, what's great, and what is greater as the time goes on.
I want you to call me. I will call you if that's necessary, because we want to keep it before every public officer as well as the community that we are working to improve service.
Awesome. Dr.
In public
Connie
service.
Judge, thank you so much for stopping by. Great information, great initiative, and we're looking forward to greater things.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.